All right, ladies and gentlemen, automotive enthusiasts and friends from around the great old planet Earth, you've done it once again. You've hit play on yet another...
Kevin, another mellifluous episode of V8 Radio.
Well, of course, it is very mellifluous. I was feeling mellifluous this morning.
I gathered that. Yes, sir.
Is mellifluous.
It is means pleasant to hear.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, it's too bad mellifluous doesn't rhyme with anything, or that could be our new tagline.
Exactly.
It's a listener shout-out. Come up with a tagline that contains the word mellifluous, and you win a sticker. This is the V8 Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Ostie, joined as always by our esteemed co-host, Mr. Mike Q-Ball Clark.
Hey-o. How's it going?
Hey-o. Well, you have to bear with me because I am battling a non-mellifluous cold here. Because I got something in the upper respiratory region that I'm trying to use the dump button as much as I can.
Right. You got the post-SEMA flu, man.
Some call it the SEMA sludge.
That sounds about right.
I got it. But before we get into all that, nice little teaser there.
Hey.
The show's not going to be about the sickness. It's going to be about the SEMA.
Dang.
For those for you who listen repeatedly, you know that we launch every episode with an automotive trivia question that is educational, insightful, and riveting all at once. And we ask it in the beginning and then answer it at the end as a way to coax you to listen to the whole show. How about that?
How about that?
Do you have an automotive trivia question?
Of course I do, sir. Here we go. All right, Kevin. What model year of Corvette production saw the highest number of units sold?
Oh, that's a great question. What model year of Corvette production saw the highest? Well, I know it was not 1953 because that was like 300.
Yeah, like 12 cars. Yeah.
I want to say, I used to know this. I'm going to say it was like 78, 9, 80, 79, somewhere around there.
Well, we need to narrow down to one, sir.
To one, yeah. They peaked again in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Corvette's, not intended to be the highest mass-produced vehicle in the world. So I'm just going to throw a wag out there and say 1979.
Let's not forget, also when the C8 came out, a lot of people bought those.
They did.
They were pretty affordable, relatively speaking.
Relatively, but a 79 was far more affordable, relatively speaking.
Gotcha.
And that was at the height of, there was a, here goes the rabbit hole. But thanks to the resurgence of what I would say an invigoration of automotive culture, especially in the United States in the late 70s, as brought on by the Smokey and the Bandit movie, the Bandit Trans Am, Trans Am SE, as it's supposed to be called.
Sure.
And the Camaro Z28 kind of got a tune-up, and disco music and Saturday Night Fever and all those movies that featured those type of cars, right? Mm-hmm. The only one cooler than that on the street was a Corvette, and a lot of people bought Corvettes of that generation. This is the end of the C3 body style, which meant, they were largely sorted out. They didn't have any issues. The biggest problem they had is they were slow. They didn't make any power, but that was because of the emissions laws and the reduced compression and the catalytic converters, and we just didn't have the technology to tune things like we do today. But they were popular, and I throw back to that statistic that my dad had told me a long time ago, that in those days, if you lived in New York City, LA, or Chicago, and you bought a new Corvette and parked it on a city street, its life expectancy was like 24 hours before it got stolen. So
not
they were
good,
super
man.
hot.
Yeah.
No. So that's where I'm pulling my guess from.
I gotcha. Oh, by the way, this question brought to you by V8 Speed and Resto Shop's own Brian Wibbenmeyer, who came up with that question for us.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. See, I used it.
I always like the audience participation.
Right on.
All right. Well, that's my final answer.
Dig it. What do you got for us?
All right, nice and easy one today.
Oh, God, here we go.
Who is the DeSoto car company named after?
Ooh. The DeSoto car company named after.
That's right. As you recall, DeSoto was a brand created to be kind of a mid-range car to compete with Oldsmobile and Studebaker under the Chrysler umbrella.
Well, Kevin
DeSoto
and listeners, the DeSoto car company was named for the town of DeSoto, Texas.
Oh, DeSoto, Texas.
Who's I'm going to say, I'm just a wag, who's the inception, who conceived of the brand was from said city in Texas. So there we go. Named after the city of DeSoto, Texas.
All right.
And I only know that town because I used to live there in the summertime when I was a kid.
Maybe it was a prediction that someday the Q would walk the earth, so they needed to commemorate the land of the future Q walking with a car brand.
Perhaps yes.
Yeah. I mean, hey, why not? Right?
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Anything is possible.
True. Very true.
Okay. DeSoto, Texas, right on.
Yeah, man.
Duly noted.
Oh, I appreciate that, as always.
Yeah, right on. So, there's a lot to cover, right?
Yeah, we have a few topics.
Yeah. Do you remember any of them?
Well, the SEMA Show, as was brought up earlier.
Ah, yes.
You just got back from there and had a good old time.
Had a great time, and once again, I will pre-apologize because I'm kind of hopped up on cold medicine right now. So,
well, this is going to be a great show then.
Yeah. Under the influence of expectorants to lower your expectations. It was a great show. Easy to say because when you have a thing like the SEMA Show that has so many different dimensions and so many different possible metrics to measure it by, saying it was a great show is like the largest blanket generalization ever created.
It is. It is a very big generalization. I mean, there are so many facets and pieces to that show. It is hard to. You can't sum it up in one word.
No, you can't. Even though I just did.
Right on.
But what I will say is that to go the other way, the opposite way, one of the things that kind of frustrates me year after year after the show, as we start to see the media coverage and the social posts and the word getting out, a social post will generally focus on one of the 50 million aspects of the SEMA Show, and even down to one vehicle. And then you get commentary from people who clearly have not been to the SEMA Show, who make comments about a particular car and judge the entire show based on one vehicle.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Here we go. Whee!
Well, and I'm not saying that vehicle doesn't deserve to be judged, but it is not fair to generalize the entire show by that.
For sure.
So to try to figure this out, I've come up with an analogy that really it's not the SEMA Show, it's really Planet Cars.
Oh, okay.
And Planet Cars is a mystical place that once a year starts off as a clean planet with no inhabitants and is only habitable by those in the automotive and automotive aftermarket enthusiast industry. Okay. And on Friday, it opens up to the general public of automotive enthusiasts. But there is nothing else. But there is everything in the automotive enthusiast world on Planet Cars. So planets are big things. They got lots of different aspects.
They have their own ecosystem, man.
That's right. So if you are walking on Planet Cars and, you see one particular vehicle and you judge the entire planet by the one vehicle, it is a great disservice to Planet Cars.
True.
And some of the different aspects, the metrics that I use to say, was this a successful SEMA show or not? V8 Speed and Resto Shop, myself, my wife Kelly, we've all had various roles in this show. One that we have not been is a manufacturer, because we don't manufacture, but we build cars and we display cars, and I work the show and whatnot. But I like to talk to manufacturers, because that's really what this show is the focus. The biggest continent on Planet Cars is the parts and the manufacturing side. And if you can envision that continent, what they're trying to do is manufacture their parts, but then get them out onto other continents on Planet Cars, to sell and distribute their wares.
Right.
So I was chatting with our good friend, Mr. Tim McCarthy at Hushmat.
Yeah.
And he's a manufacturer and exhibitor. They manufacture the Hushmat sound deadening product and then the Zycoat and Zybar coatings. And I asked him how the show was from a manufacturer standpoint. And he said he signed up I think over 70 new dealers for his product.
Holy cow. That's incredible.
And several warehouse distributors for his product.
Well, good for you, Tim.
That is a successful show right there.
Sure.
Because now you have a manufacturer who has connected with channels to retail and distribute his stuff, which means that's how it's going to land in the hands of consumers and builders and end users.
Right.
And those deals would not have happened if he was not in his booth with his displays and those retailers or distributors, dealers came to him and said, hey, we want to carry this. Or, hey, tell me about this. Should I carry it? Or, there's differences between a regular dealer and a warehouse distributor, but that's a huge thing. So that is the business, one slice, one county on the continent of Planet Cars that goes down at the SEMA show is that. So to me, as long as that keeps happening, there's going to be a show. That's the biggest part of it.
For sure. Yeah. Getting back to, judging the cars that are there and, based on whatever, you got to remember that those cars are there to display a product for that particular manufacturer where they are. It's not a car show. It's a trade show. And people want to display the parts they make on an actual car. So people like builders can look at that and say, "Oh, that's cool. I think I want that for my build." So it's not a judged car show, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. So the organizers of the show don't say okay, we're going to plan this out and we're going to have, if you look at something like the Grand National Roadster Show, right? Awesome event. And they have theme displays every year. So a couple of years ago, they had a great lowrider exhibit where it was 2 buildings basically full of lowriders that they curated and brought in. And those decisions of what types of cars rely on the shoulders of the show organizers, right? So another example is the upcoming Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. They have their invitational displays of certain types of muscle cars. So this year, I believe they're having a Malibu SS Z16 display. So they're going to curate those and market that. Oh, yeah. But the SEMA show does not curate displays of vehicles. They don't pick the vehicles that are going to be there. The SEMA show is coming out of the SEMA Association,
right? Which
the best definition I've heard is a mirror that reflects what's going on in the industry. Okay,
that makes sense.
So if it's happening in the industry, and here's the thing with getting back to Planet Cars, everybody's welcome. If you're in this business, you're welcome to come to the show. So you are welcome to display at the SEMA show. And whatever you make for whatever type of car is welcome and encouraged to come out. And there's where you get this unbelievable range of products and unfathomable range of vehicles that one parked right next to the next one doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, there are certain manufacturers, they group the show by categories. You have Hot Rod Alley, and you've got the mobile electronics sections of the show, so that the exhibitors are categorized. But the whole perimeter of the building, and in the hallways and some of the extra space areas, is a random smattering of a reflection of what's going on in the industry. So, yeah, you're right. Those vehicles, the reason why they're there, the main reason is to put new products in context. And you mentioned so builders can see them, and far beyond builders. Again, a dealer can walk by, and maybe this dealer does four-wheel drive upfits for trucks, and like those type of shops. They'll do appearance packages. They'll do window tinting. They'll do flares. They'll do lighting. They'll do winches. They'll do shocks, lift kits, wheels, tires. That kind of a shop. And if they walk by and they go, yeah, look at this lifted whatever. Yeah, we sell that. We sell. Ooh, what's that? We don't sell that.
Aha.
We need to get that in our product line, because look at how nice it looks against that custom bumper or that push bar or whatever.
Right.
So then they'll find that manufacturer there at the show and work a deal to be able to retail that product. So it is a great way to contextualize rather than just see a welded up piece of steel on a bench top or a picture of something. The vehicle is a great way to demonstrate it.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's great. Speaking of vehicles, we had one of our own builds on display there at the SEMA Show this year. A 1969 Corvette Roadster.
That's right. And again, for that same exact reason. So we built this 427 Corvette. It was on display at the McCacken Show. It did really well. We recently launched a video on the whole build process and the story behind it. And our good friends at Coker Tire called up and they said, we're launching some brand new tires, and we think that that's the perfect vehicle to show them. So the tire is a low-profile, high-performance radial that now comes in a redline or a raised white letter. So these are larger diameters, 17 to, I think, up to 20s.
Wow.
Low-profile, high-performance tire with a raised white letter or a redline. And those did not exist off the shelf until this SEMA show.
That's crazy.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
And that Corvette has a lot of power. It's got a great suspension system. It goes around turns. And so our friends at Coker said, hey, this car is going to be a great showpiece for the Redline and for the raised white letter. It's a Pro-Trac brand. It's a classic brand that people are familiar with. And so one half of the car had the raised white letter. The other side had the Redline. And they installed a set of period chrome-plated Kragar SS wheels in a 17 on the Corvette. And it totally changed the look of the car. It looked right, just the way it looked right before.
Sure.
I mean, I thought it was killer. It looked really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, they said there was a lot of interest and traffic and a lot of pictures taken of the car. But again, that's why that car was there, was to demonstrate what this stuff looks like on an actual application. And that was fun for us because right in that area, it was displayed in Hot Rod Alley where the Coker display was. And,
nice.
Again, we really, really appreciate them handling all that and showing the interest of the car and being a partner on that one. Many of the other manufacturers who are on that car got to go along for the ride and were exhibiting in that area. So Modern Driveline with the clutch, Willwood with the brakes.
Right.
There was an audio system in there that was on display right down the hallway. A whole bunch of different products. Of course, in the Coker family is also Zip Corvette and Corvette Central. And a host of restoration parts on that car were made by them.
Oh, yes, they were. I ordered many of them.
Yeah. So it becomes a rolling showpiece for all the cool stuff. And Vintage Air, another great example. Dakota Digital, they have a cruise control unit on that car. So Ben, our marketing manager, was able to grab some of these representatives from the companies who are on the car, and he shot some videos with them talking about their product line, but also the car, right? Which was pretty cool, to hear other manufacturers say, yeah, we like this car. We're happy to be on this car. And this is a great example of, how you can integrate our stuff and how the Vintage Air looks in a C3 Corvette and the whole thing. So
that is killer how that all comes together and how the whole industry your analogy of Planet Cars is a perfect analogy because it is its own self-contained ecosystem, much like a planet is. You have so many different parts that make up the whole, and certain parts, work in concert with each other to create something. And it's a really neat business to be in, a really great industry. I'm glad I'm an industry guy now.
You are an industry guy for sure. And just like Planet Earth, there's parts of Planet Car that I've never been to.
Sure.
And parts I'm not interested in, but I'm happy they're there. And
right, they need to be there.
They do, and it all kind of feeds off itself. And again, I think it's really important to point out that the SEMA Association is in control of the show for like who they sell the booth space to and the logistics of the show and everything else. But they really don't have anything to do with the content of the show. That's us. That's us in the industry. We make that show. They put it up, but we populate it,
For sure.
And Tom Gattuso, who's the VP of events, the guy that basically runs the SEMA show, he and I had a nice chat at the SEMA Central Stage, and he pointed that out again. He's like, look, if you are an enthusiast out there in the world and you're seeing something here at the show that you have questions about, you can't call us. You got to call the manufacturer that built it or call the builder.
For sure.
Because it's a unique thing. It's like if this was a Broadway play, SEMA would be the theater owner and the production people would be the actors and the players. And that's who the industry is. So
right on, man.
Yeah. So it was a hugely busy week. Again, a success metric for us was that we had a vehicle on display, which was great. Also in a great booth, great experience. You mentioned Brian before. He was there at the show, and we tasked him with kind of babysitting the car on its way out. And, we learned a little something. Car had a parasitic electrical draw that it didn't want to leave the show.
It loves Planet Cars. It wants to be there.
Yeah, they love our shop, and they love Planet Cars. So,
oh my God! Sometimes I think we single-handedly keep the battery business in business.
The battery business needs something.
Yeah,
and also it happens to everybody. I mean, when we had the car in our possession a year ago, as we were preparing it to take it to the McCacken show, we noticed that one of the door pin switches for the dome light was malfunctioning. And you'd close the door, but the dome light would stay on.
Ooh.
And this being a convertible and a Corvette, the dome light is tucked up under the dash, so you really can't see. It's
hard
not
to
like
see in the daytime.
Yeah. So it got left on periodically, and we fixed it when it was at our shop. Or so we thought. And, I think it went home to the owner who had this switch fail on him and just cycled the battery too low too many times.
Yeah.
And when it was go time to leave the SEMA show, the battery's like, I don't want any more.
I'm good right here.
Yeah. So there's a long list of things that we learned, again, as we do every time, about ways to prepare and build and test.
Sure.
The bummer is if we finish a big car build like that and it leaves our shop and it's meant to be driven and enjoyed and used, but when you add that dynamic of motion and things moving around and that's when things like this can happen. They can loosen up, or they can disconnect, or a part can fail, or whatever. And of course, we try to prevent as much of that as we can, but it does happen.
Yeah.
I'm just the only saving grace, and forgive me, Brian, is that it happened to one of us and not the owner.
Yeah.
We were able to mitigate that.
Yeah.
Rather than a frustrated owner at a show by himself somewhere.
Right. No, what do I do? That kind of thing.
Yeah. We got it, and we're working with the battery manufacturer. And you mentioned, the battery. I don't know that it is the battery. It was probably some kind of short.
Right. Yeah. No, it was probably a draw that it happened that caused the battery to die. But the point is, we still have to replace another battery. And that's
it took the battery down with it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the bummer part. Usually when these things happen, the battery places where we buy our batteries are really good about warranting the batteries for us. So that's one good thing. So
yeah, for sure. Which reminds me of I saw this beat up not rusty, but patina smoked out utility van in Arizona a couple months ago. Just sun beat and dented, and it was from the 90s, and it had a door logo that said like Smith Electric Company, let us remove your shorts.
That's nice. That's nice. Let us remove your shorts.
That's right. So we
very good.
The shorts of the Corvette, yeah. But that was a great part of the show, and again, I was very fortunate to work for the association that week, and hosted the SEMA Central Stage, which was the opportunity to do some interviews with some industry notables and friends,
right?
And some fun people came across through there. Jay Leno came through again. I didn't even know he was going to be there. And that was cool.
Yeah.
Great chat with Jay. He's still doing stand-up every week. In fact, he did a stand-up show in Vegas the night before.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, oh, well, that's perfect timing. He's doing a stand-up show in Vegas and same week as the SEMA show. So swing on by.
Yeah. And we had a fun chat about the Chrysler turbine car and that whole program, and because he just got his rebuilt.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. He drives that thing.
He drives everything that he has. I think he tries to anyway.
Yeah, he does. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All the way on up to people like Mohammed bin Salim, who is the president of the FIA, which is the sanctioning body that owns Formula One.
Right.
And the FIA also has a mobility side with mobility agendas around the world, and they've partnered up with SEMA to help advance these mobility programs. So that's, on paper, that's why he was there. But in talking to him, Mohammed bin Salim is a great guy. He's a former rally car champion. He's a huge car guy. He's a racer, and he was actually looking for parts for one of his Project Broncos, I think.
Oh, no kidding! I'll be darned.
Oh yeah, yeah. People were talking about FIA, and he's like, yes, I really want to see the parts." I'm like, okay, dude.
That's awesome,
cool
man.
guy.
I love it.
Yeah. At one point on the stage, I had Mike Spagnola, who's SEMA president, Mohammed bin Salim from FIA, president of NHRA, Nevada state representative, the head of the Las Vegas Convention and Tourism Board, and then a couple other board members from SEMA.
Yeah.
And we did the big kickoff on Tuesday morning, noting that Las Vegas, in that short period of time, the few weeks before to a few weeks after the SEMA show, is like the automotive center of the universe, even beyond planet cars.
Oh, man.
Because 2 weeks before, there was like a 25,000 person lowrider show at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Oh, wow.
Then there was the NHRA race, the F1 race. There's an off-road race right there. You got the SEMA show. You've got the Concours d'Elegance at the Wynn Hotel. There's a drift competition. There's all these things that happen right in that time frame.
Yeah. There's also a Mecum auction going on right now in Vegas. As we record this.
Yeah. And there's also a Barrett-Jackson auction that happens in Vegas. So basically anything you could want to do in the automotive world happens like at this time of year in Vegas. It's really wild. It was great to I believe she was a state, I don't want to get it wrong. So a state representative, she was either Congress or senator. I don't remember which one at the time. But a representative from Nevada was saying, yeah, bring your auto events here. Bring your car shows. Bring your races here. We want them. And that was awesome to hear.
That is awesome to hear. I love that. I love when the automotive world is embraced by, official government leadership. So that's terrific. But circling back, speaking of SEMA board members, we had our own Kelly Ostie, who's on the SEMA board of directors, that was out there doing her thing as well.
Yeah, and she covered some pavement for sure.
Yeah.
The responsibilities of the board of directors at the show, it's kind of interesting because the SEMA board is unique in the sense that they're all working professionals in the industry. Mm-hmm. So many of them are displaying that week. They're working. So they don't schedule like boardroom type meetings and activities during the SEMA show because they respect the fact that, this is one of the biggest opportunities of the year for a lot of the board members that are manufacturers. So, for example, Norris Marshall, our good friend at Blueprint Engines, is on the SEMA board, and he's got a great booth, and he's selling engines, and they unveiled a new Foose Continental. That 56 Continental was in Norris's booth. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I had not seen that, but I heard about it. That's pretty killer.
Yeah, it was. So here you have a guy who's a manufacturer of engines, who's on display, who's in a Foose project at the SEMA show, eyeballs deep in the whole industry, but is also on the board of directors, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that's who you want on the board, is that type of experience level.
Yes, 100%.
And instead of just some corporate muckety-mucks from other industries who don't know what's going on.
Right, who just don't get it, who don't have the passion. So, yeah.
Right. They might know business, but they don't know the car culture.
They don't know planet cars, man.
That's it. So Kelly was, I think she was able to take about 6 steps at a time before being pulled. Somebody asking a question, and God bless her. She will help show somebody where the bathroom is, all the way on up to, hey, I have a question about my booth. Can you put me in touch with somebody?
Right.
And everybody in between.
Sure.
So in typical fashion, she was communicating with a lot of people that might have been first-time visitors to help them navigate the show. She was talking with other business owners to come up with ways to advance the way we do operations at our shop at V8 Speed and Resto. She was helping the show staff get things done, and communicating with other board members. They have a board meeting coming up at the PRI show in December, so that's where they'll all get together and recap SEMA. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So that was another aspect of it. The events that happen within the show. That's another thing you hear sometimes is people are like, if it's a trade show, how come you have Jay Leno walking around, and how come you have these banquets and a drift car expedition out in front and all these other things? That's not doing business, But really, it kind of is.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Things. Yeah, it's demonstrating trends in the industry, again, holding up a mirror to what's going on out there. But also, if you're going to go to a trade show for a week, why not have some fun while you're there?
Amen, man. Heck yeah. And this isn't a dental insurance convention. This is SEMA, man.
You've heard this speech before.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're all endemic to what the industry does. It's not like they had something that was completely unrelated. I don't know, the automotive industry reaches so many things, but it wasn't like here's a performance of professional banana peelers. You know, it wasn't that.
Right.
It was all automotive cultural events going on, and the kickoff breakfast was really fantastic this year. Jared DeAnda hosted that one. I write the script for that, which really isn't a whole lot. It's kind of Jared's intros and some stuff, which he takes and does whatever he's going to do anyway, which is cool. But Spagnola and Mohammed bin Salim were on stage talking about racing and things like Cadillac's return to F1, which is incredible.
Ooh, that is incredible.
And it's going to be an American driver behind the wheel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and F1 is one of those sports. It's a global sport, but the United States, we have some tracks, but we really don't have a whole lot of involvement.
Right.
There's really no drivers. There's no teams. Well, in comes Cadillac. So that's going to be really awesome. And then next up for guests were Tim Kaniskis, who's the head of Stellantis Dodge. So he's the guy behind the SRT program, behind Hellcat, and basically a total car guy. Loves Hemis, loves gasoline, loves high performance, and was really rallying the crowds about high performance cars and trucks that are going to have the Dodge and Ram brand on them going forward. We had the EV, kind of clamp down for a while, and that has corrected. A couple years ago, It seemed like the main theme of everything was EV, and now it's like, okay, there's a place for them, but no, people really dig gasoline-powered high-performance cars and trucks.
Amen.
And high-performance diesel trucks. So great to hear that from him. And then the rest of that program was a kind of a fireside chat with Brian Scotto and Travis Pastrana about some Hoonigan videos, new Gymkhana video, and carrying on the Ken Block legacy and that side of things. So that was really cool. And for me, it was a chance. I was 100 miles an hour. We shot some Hot Rod Industry Alliance feature vehicles on Monday. Ben came out, our marketing manager, kind of my right hand on the marketing video and media side. And I'm in the HRA, as I've mentioned before here. The Hot Rod Industry Alliance is it's a council of SEMA. It's a little slice. It's a state.
Right on.
Planet Cars. That is Hot Rod land. So they feature some vehicles there, and we shot 6 videos on Monday that we edited Monday and Tuesday, and then they got shown on the big screens Wednesday night at the HRA banquet, where we honored some Hall of Famers and some individuals and manufacturers of the year, some innovative builders, did some great presentations, showed the videos. Fun event, a lot of fun. And then Thursday night was the reformatted SEMA Industry Awards night. It used to be the SEMA banquet. It used to be kind of a sit-down thing at the table, and you get a presentation on stage. This year it was in a brand new theater across the street from the convention center at the Fontainebleau Casino Hotel. Oh, yeah, they got the stage has I think it's a 60-foot tall digital backdrop.
Holy cats.
It's state of the art, and it's a classic theater, right? So, if you look at, the first image that comes to mind is Showtime at the Apollo, like the stage with the audio up the sides and the curved balcony seating.
Sure.
With an open floor. So we had tables on the floor and people sitting everywhere. And that's where the SEMA Industry Awards happened. So that's where we presented 4 SEMA Hall of Famers, Person of the Year, the Peterson Lifetime Achievement Award, which went to Don Garlitz this year. Very worthy.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, great stuff. And there's a fun story there because Mike Spagnola came out to give his opening speech. And on the stage are some vehicles. We could put cars on stage.
Ooh, nice.
Which we couldn't do before. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Mike really wanted to get back to, this is all about the cars. Planet Cars is about the cars, and the people that built them and the stories behind them. So they had some cars lined up, and the MC, by the way, was Sun Kang, the actor that was in Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, and So one of the cars was a screen-shown Sun Kang Supra from Tokyo Drift.
Nice.
So that segment was represented. The big Ole Baja 1000 winning Bronco from 1970 and 71 was on the stage. The actual Bronco.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The McGee Roadster, which is a 32 Ford Roadster that was built originally in about 1946, 47, and established the stance that every hot rod has today.
No way.
It's super clean. It's lowered. It's got big and little tires on it. It's a great story behind it. It was the first non-race car to be featured on the cover of Hot Rod magazine in 1949.
I'll be darned.
So Hot Rod's first few issues were race cars, and this is the first street car. But then the McGee went on to run and set a record at El Mirage on the Dry Lakes, and then it went on to set a record at Bonneville on the Salt. And eventually it was restored back to the way it looked when McGee built it himself. It's been in the Bruce Meyer collection and on display at the Peterson Museum for a long time. It is the definitive hot rod. It's red.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So it is. It's the quintessential hot rod.
Yeah, it's perfect. So that was on stage. So then they also had the Hoonigan Mustang-bodied Gymkhana car that Ken Block drove that embodies that whole, it's a 1,400 horsepower, drift off-road machine. It's incredible, showcasing like all kinds of great stuff from not only aftermarket performance parts, but, fabrication and having fun with cars.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to have another car there that couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I couldn't make it is because it didn't fit in the elevator.
No way.
Because there's an elevator that brings the car up to the stage.
Sure.
And that was Cadzilla.
Come on.
Yeah. And I'm on a call with Spagnola, and he's like, hey, Cadzilla fell out. We can't fit it. And I'm like, oh, man. That's
gee whiz.
So he said, I need a car. And I said, well, what do you got? So we went over the list. And I said, what would be killer would be the Smokey Yunick Camaro, that first-gen Camaro that Smokey built.
Oh, yeah.
That was immediately outlawed in SECA, black and gold. And it's, the car is crazy. They sectioned the nose, they flushed the glass, they belly panned the whole thing. Every body panel's been tweaked for aero. It's got a list of about 1,000 tricks in this car to make it balanced and perform. And it was part of the Vic Edelbrock collection for a long time. Smokey, went through tech at a race, and they banned it. So then he took it to Bonneville, and he set a record with a small block, and then set a record with a big block in it. And then Don Yanko ended up getting it and racing it in the 70s, and he was successful in Trans Am with it.
Oh, wow.
They made it legal, yeah. And sure. So the names that are attached to this car between Smokey Yunick and Don Yanko, and it's incredible. So I said, you need that. And he's like, oh, yeah, great idea. Do you know where it is? And I'm like, I thought it was, in the Vic Edelbrock collection. And then it dawned on me that whole collection got liquidated about 2 months before the SEMA Show.
Oh, boy.
It was auctioned off at a Bonham's auction. And I'm like, oh, boy. I said, well, let me see what I can do here. So I put the magic of social media to work, and I put a post out on my personal Facebook page with a picture of the car at the auction. And I said, does anybody know where this landed? Because I'd like to do something with it. And put it this way, within 1 hour, I had the contact of who owns it.
Get out of town. Holy cow, man. Now that is what social media should be used for every
100%.
Day. Yeah.
So a gentleman contacted me, and he goes, hey, a friend of mine on Facebook that I don't know that we've actually met in person, but he said, hey, I know where the car is. What are you going to do with it? And I said, well, there's an event and it's kind of above my pay grade, but if we can, if I can talk to the owner. So he said, because it's you, I will share the guy's information.
Oh, very cool.
But it's clearly not for public knowledge. He's like, this has been my best friend for 40 years. I don't want him, and I said, exactly. I get it. I respect that.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him, and it's a gentleman who lives in Northern California, and he called me back, and he said, yeah, what's up? And I said, are you familiar with the SEMA Show? And he goes, yeah. I said, do you own the Smokey Camaro? He says, yeah. I said, do you want to bring it? And he's like, what are you going to do? And I said, well, they want to have it featured on the stage for the big SEMA Industry Awards night. And he's like, that would be awesome.
Oh, awesome.
So we chatted for a little while about the car and how cool it is and the whole thing. And I said, all right, well, from here, I'm going to put you in touch with Spagnola and the SEMA Show team. It's not again, you're above my pay grade at this point.
Right.
I just made the connection. And he goes, yeah, there's one caveat. And I said, what's that? He said, there's no motor in it. And I went,
oh, geez.
Okay. And he said, well, we run a vintage race team. And every 40 hours, we rebuild our race engines. And we noticed that this engine has 46 hours on it, so we pulled it, and we're refreshing it because we're going to race this car.
Oh.
And I went, yes.
Yes. That is
makes
excellent.
it even cooler.
Yeah.
So he said, it's at the machine shop right now. I don't know if it's going to get finished in time. And I said, I wouldn't even care, and I would have Mike tell that story that, yeah, if it looks like it's sitting a little high in the nose, it's because the engine's not getting refreshed for the next race season. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, because this car is getting used, not just getting displayed.
So I put him in contact with Mike. They do their thing. At the show, it had an engine in it. So
oh, no kidding.
I don't know if they put a weight in it, if you will, a placeholder,
right?
Or if they were able to finish up the actual race engine. But so those cars were all on the stage at this awards ceremony. It was amazing. Just the variety and how far-reaching each one of those cars goes. The Sun King Supra is the connection to the whole tuner industry.
Oh, right.
That car helped ignite that whole industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the Smokey car and the McGee launched the hot rod industry, and the big Ole Bronco helped launch the off-road performance parts industry. Because if you think about it, in 1965, you couldn't go buy like a Skyjacker suspension. You didn't see lifted trucks driving down the street.
Right.
It was that truck that got so much press and so much excitement for people to start building modified off-road vehicles in the 70s. And it started, not completely, but a big part of it was right there. So you want to talk about authentic vehicles on the stage and in the room. I mean, it gave me goosebumps. It was crazy.
That is really, really cool. Ah, man, I wish I could have been there, but that's cool that you got to experience that and you got to have a hand in what was on there. So that's even cooler.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. The other fun thing was our good friend Mr. John McLeod was one of the 2025 SEMA Hall of Fame inductees. Mm-hmm. And this year they had people from the SEMA councils and networks present the Hall of Fame awards at that awards ceremony from relevant councils. So John McLeod is at the helm of Classic Instruments, which is a hot rod company.
Yep.
He also works under the Holley umbrella, so he's very involved in the hot rod side. And he's also involved in restoration. So they asked Chris Compton, who is with Armo in SEMA, mm-hmm. and then myself from the hot rod industry. The two of us presented McLeod's. We at least introduced McLeod to come out on stage for that, which was cool. But we got to follow Don Garlitz coming off the stage. So I chatted with Don just right before in the wings, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, a lot of cool magic stuff like that.
That is super cool, man. What a cool planet. How about it?
It is a cool planet. That's a planet we need to save, my friend.
Yeah, man. Always.
Save the planet. I am a full-on environmentalist for Planet Cars.
Yes, sir. As we all should be. We all have to do our part.
Yeah, and it all rounds out for me with the SEMA Cruise.
Oh, yeah. You and Joe Sabergandio, right?
That's right. And Tom Gattuso summed that up. He's like, it's nothing like having a 5K at the end of the marathon. and that's basically, I'll call it a 10K, but that's basically what the SEMA Cruise is.
Yeah.
All the show vehicles start up and roll out, and you've seen the videos online and all the stuff. And this year, by the numbers, there was over 150,000 people that attended the SEMA show.
Good gravy.
There was nearly 2,000 new products launched. There were 2,334 vehicles on display.
Sweet
and
Lord. Good heavens.
A good load of those rolled out of the SEMA Cruise. Not all of them, but a good load of them did. And the SEMA Cruise, it's my job and Joe's job to kind of work the crowd and provide color commentary on what we see rolling by. And that one it's so much fun because it is a curveball after a curveball. Here's a lowrider. Here's a lifted truck you can walk under. Here's a Dodge diesel with 18 turbos on the front of it and a truck bed full of train horns. I mean, literally, that happened. Here's a Porsche GT3. Here's an 84 Monte Carlo lowrider. I mean, just everything, one after the next. Yep. And some of the stuff I know, what the car is or what it was. Some of them I might know the actual car, like the builder and the details. But the vast majority, you're just kind of winging it. And when you look at the crowd on hand, there's bleachers set up on both sides of what they call the Valley of Fun, an attraction in Planet Cars.
Nice.
And then they go across the street past the West Hall down to Vegas Boulevard. And that street is like a quarter mile long with people 5 and 6 deep on both sides.
That's crazy.
And they estimate there's 10,000 people there watching the cruise.
Shoo.
So there's an interesting thing that happens. I'm standing there, Joe's standing there, we got microphones. First thing was behind us are all of the there's a media corral area where they tried to come up with like the best shot and let the people shooting videos and photographs hang out in the media area. Well, this guy with the big bucket of brains wasn't paying attention and was standing in front of them.
Oh boy,
a lot. Yeah. And so finally, one of the camera guys is like, "Hey, dude, can you just get out of the way? I mean, I'm getting all this video of your back." I'm like, "Oh my god,
this guy with the big bucket of brains."
Oh, man. So I actually gave an apology on the mic. I'm like, "Look, ladies and gentlemen, I have to sincerely apologize to all of our media creators that are here because I was not aware that I was standing right in front of all the cameras, like
Lord.
a guy with a big bucket of brains."
Yeah.
So, but as a car enters this little Valley of Fun, I'll spot it and then, talk about it. And a lot of times I'm able to pull them over to me and interview the person behind the wheel, which is the best to hear their story. And then the car leaves. Well, the audio system goes almost all the way to the Vegas Strip with speakers down the street, and then it goes the other way. So people on the far ends are hearing a different story. They're seeing a different car roll by than what I'm talking about. And when these videos pop up online, a lot of times you see, here's a Supra that's outfitted for road racing, and you hear me, talking about a twin turbo 62 Chevy because it's coming over the PA, and the comments are like, "This guy doesn't know anything."
Oh, bald guy claps for self.
Oh yeah, here he is again. It's so great, so funny.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Man, well, it sounds like that was quite a week, as the SEMA show always is. So I love seeing hearing about, doing new things like having that banquet or the award ceremony at a different venue that's a little more accommodating with a stage and have actual cars up on there and all the new products that are launched. I mean, that just tells me the state of the industry is still growing and is still very strong, which is phenomenal.
It's very strong, very strong. And Brian and Ben and Ziggy were there from our team, doing a great job. They had a tremendous week.
They did. Brian made so many contacts, and we've already affected change on how we interact with some of these vendors that we use because of their trip and their contact and their meetings with these people at the SEMA Show.
Yeah. So give me an example of that.
So we're talking with we do business with a company called Rare Parts, and they have updated their website, and they are helping us with. We can see a lot more on the website. We don't have to necessarily call them all the time to get something ordered. We have our pricing updated. We can see tracking now. We got a contact on how to, because they're on the West Coast and we're at Central Time, and so there's there's a few hours difference, and if they want to contact us and they realize, we need to, it's 3:00 Pacific Time, and they want to call us, well, we're gone. Or if we want to, or we're starting our day at 8:00 and we need to reach out to them, well, nobody's there. So Brian got an individual contact. He says, just email me. I check my email early, or you can call me. My phone flashes and it really annoys me, so I know I have to get back with somebody. So I can be your point of contact rather than you just having to go through the general contact means. So we can have better contact with them and get be able to do better business with them. And I know that
that's great. So that enhanced that relationship.
Yeah.
It provided a better means of working with them. We like Rare Parts because they'll actually make stuff for us if we need a weird ball joint or something for an old car that you can't get,
and they have just recently for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're not like a giant, consumer facing. They are consumer facing, but they don't have a whole online store with a chat person and all that stuff all the time. They're a pretty small company. But by having those contacts now, we can get answers quicker. We can get parts fulfilled and ordered quicker and faster, which means a better experience for our customers and our team.
Yeah, another good example is with Blueprint Engines. When we get a crate engine from them, an LS-based engine specifically, and we put it in a Corvette or a first-gen Camaro or second-gen F-body, we typically will need to change the oil pan out to one that will fit the crossmember a little bit better. And so what they're going to do for us is they can build that engine with that oil pan and sell it to us that way rather than us having to swap it out. And
nice.
that's a huge improvement over the previous process.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, these type of nuances occur from having these face-to-face conversations and having these relationships. So good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I know just last year at the PRI show, we established, and at SEMA, we talked with, actually at the Triple Crown of Rodding as well, we talked to Bob Florine of ARP, and we established a direct buy program with them rather than have to buy through a distributor. So that was a huge improvement as well.
Yeah, and that was a tough one because in the past, our good friend Chris Raschke, who passed at Bonneville this past year, he kind of just took care of us. Yeah,
he did.
And he did it for a lot of shops where if we needed something, we didn't have to go to a retailer. We could just call them and the parts would show up in, whatever the bill was, but we didn't have to. It was like, it literally was a really good friend worked there who gave us, that type of service level.
Yeah.
Which at the same time meant it didn't have standard procedure of a contact person tracking, follow up.
Right. Yeah.
It was just like Chris would go through the shipping center and pull the order we needed and box it and send it to us. And then when it showed up, it showed up. And we loved that personal attention, but it made it a little bit difficult in some ways because we needed a little more formal of a process.
Sure.
unfortunately, again, he passed away, which is a horrible thing, and I miss that guy all the time.
Yeah.
But Bob Florine stepped up, and we were able to establish more of a legit trackable account.
Exactly. Yeah, and we have a contact person, and I emailed that person yesterday and got an instant reply, which is great. So that is super helpful, and it helps us keep things moving along a lot quicker. As as we grow, we need to establish more, kind of quote unquote official channels to do business with people, and be able to track and have people be accountable and be able to get back to people if something doesn't go right. So
right, and again with Chris, it was like, yeah, I'll get that as soon as I get back from Bonneville. Because I got to go set a land speed record real fast.
yeah,
which is awesome. But it was, when you have things in motion. And so we, over the years, over the 21 years now, we've built a huge database of relationships, of accounts that we buy directly from and have these type of reps. But it's always fun to add more, and I think we did that this year. So.
Yeah, it was a very productive SEMA show for Brian and for the shop. So it was
good.
It was one of the best ones ever.
So to answer the original question, it was a great show on all these different metrics. And again, when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, that's a stupid looking truck," the SEMA show's dumb. Yeah, I agree. That is a stupid looking truck. It isn't my thing, but there's all the rest of the planet you're missing out on. So don't rush to judgment.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh boy, well that is phenomenal.
We need a quick GTO block update. I understand you tore the thing down to see the carnage inside.
Yeah. So on our last episode, I was getting ready to get the block removed and get it torn down and evaluated. And through the help of my good friend Randy Burge, he loaned me his engine stand and his engine hoist. And through the help of our good friend Mr. Paul Vishubar, he came by and helped me yank it out and get it on the engine stand, and then I got everything pulled apart. And one of the concerns I had, I was not able to rotate the crankshaft all the way around. I could get maybe 180 degrees in either direction before things would get stuck. And I was worried that the crankshaft was bent or the rod was bent or something was, something was interfering, but I was afraid it was one of those two things. When I got the engine out and I got it on an engine stand and I pulled the oil pan off and I removed that number 3 connecting rod cap, and I had to try to get the piston out. I had to literally go on the back side of it with like a piece of wood or something, and with a hammer, I had to beat that thing out of the cylinder hole because it was the piston itself and the way the cylinder was probably all boogered up that was holding things up. Once I got that piston out, with all the other pistons and rods still intact, that crankshaft rotated cleanly over 360 degrees, which was a great sign.
Yay.
So that made me really, really happy. So I got the block completely stripped, got it loaded up in the Suburban. I brought it down to our V8 Speed and Resto Shop engine machine shop and had our boy Ethan take a look at it, and he ran it through the jet wash and got it cleaned up a little bit. And he did a Magnaflux on it, and he showed that the cracks there's about 4 separate cracks in that cylinder, and they're all within like the middle third of that cylinder. So nothing is too far up into the deck, nothing is too far down to the bottom of the cylinder or into the water jacket. So with the sleeve, that block is going to be fully salvageable, and I'll be able to reuse it. So
that is great news.
That is phenomenal news, because I was looking at blocks on like Marketplace and other classifieds, and you know what? I didn't want to go down that road, because what if you buy something and it's junk, and you still have to go through all the processes and all that you have to do now. Yeah. So that made me really, really, really happy. So I'm gonna get a sleeve, and I'm gonna have the engine machine shop sleeve it. Get a new set of pistons for it. That'll be about 40 over. We're at 35 over right now. And I found something with a better compression height, so I'll be able to get that better squish with some mild decking of the block to get it right, to dial it in right where I want. Looking at a set of Edelbrock heads for it. Taking full advantage of the cam that's in there to get some better airflow, get some better compression.
You do anything to the heads?
I don't know. I mean, I'll probably just general practice is even when we get a brand new set of heads, we'll still tear them down and check everything out.
And
verify.
Are you going to do any port work on them or anything?
I don't know. I don't know if, it depends on how comfortable our guys feel about doing that stuff, because we haven't done a whole lot of it. But
the other thing you could do, I mean, we do some hand porting here and there and stuff, but it's definitely a thing that is going to affect the budget a little bit, but there's a lot of guys out there with a CNC program for those heads. You might want to call our friends at Butler and see if they can run them through a machine.
Yeah, I know they could, and I thought about that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The Edelbrock head's probably perfectly fine for out of the box.
Yeah,
it's probably better than just about any other Pontiac head that was ever made.
Probably, yeah. They flow. Yeah. I think they start where a cast iron block will stop after a whole lot of porting is done on a cast iron head.
Do you know what the CC size of the runners are and all that?
I don't know. I know the combustion chamber is about 87 cc's, which will, with everything else that I'm looking to do, will get me about 10.5 to 1, 10.6 to 1, which I feel perfectly fine with on an aluminum head.
Yeah, oh yeah, all day.
So that'll get me a little bump in power, which and with the flow to support that, I think I should be doing all right.
Take some weight off the nose.
Yeah, yep, yeah. Take about 50 pounds off. So that'll be cool. And I'm hoping by the time everything is all said and done, our dyno room will be fully operational. I can get that dynoed and see some real numbers on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's cool.
So,
well, that's good.
That's great.
I didn't see it. How did the block look after we? So we just washed that one. We didn't shot peen it and tumble it. And all
no,
that.
We didn't tumble it or shot or blast it or hot tank it. We just threw it in jet wash to get all the oil and residue off of it.
Because it's still pretty clean.
Yeah, it is very clean. I mean, a lot of paint flaking off of it because I don't know how to paint a block to save my life. But we're gonna have our good friend Mr. Jeff Whitlick paint that one for me when the time is right. So I'm gonna. Are you
going to run it through the hot tank to further strip the paint?
Yeah, we'll need to do that to get it all fully stripped. Yeah. And I do want to get it painted by the shop because. I mean, I saw that we have that 79 Bronco with the 351 modified engine that we rebuilt and ran through the paint shop. And, man, what a difference between a rattle can and real deal automotive level paint that went on there. It is, oh, my gosh, it's beautiful. So
it is. It's really nice. And, we had these conversations before where it's like, at our engine shop, we have some really cool tools to clean and strip and deburr and remove paint and stuff. So typically what the guys will do is take a greasy engine and do a quick external degreasing, maybe some sprays and some scrapers and whatnot so that they can at least work on it without getting completely covered in gunk.
Right.
And disassemble everything and then throw it in there's that jet wash deal and there's also the hot tank, and then the next step beyond that is it's a shot tumbler that has stainless steel shot beads in it, and it does a process where it just rotates the part and not really high pressure, but it just inundates all the parts with the stainless steel shot, and when the part comes out of that, it is like brand new casting.
Oh, it's like a fresh casting. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the concern becomes like, does that affect does it undo all the machine work that's been done to that engine?
Right. Does it booger up the lifter bores? Do they have to be honed out again, or the cylinders and all that?
Yeah. So that we kind of reserve for a full, complete remachine process. Even though we have been told that lifter bores don't seem to care about that. But whatever. So that is if you're going to do the entire thing back to square one, full blueprint, full machine, deck,
which I am. So
yeah. Are you? Yeah. So you're going to touch all the cylinders?
Yeah. Well, I got a bore. I got a overbore. I need to because these pistons I found are 40 over, and I mean there's not a lot of miles on it on the last build, but I saw some scratches that I don't like that I'd like to get gone out of there. I don't know if a hone will do it. If a hone will do it, then I'll maybe revisit this, but I'm not sure. I have to have our boy Ethan kind of evaluate that.
And that was what, 37 over before?
It was 35.
35 over.
Yeah. So
there's room to.
Oh, there's plenty of room, and I had it sonic checked, and I have plenty of cylinder wall left to. I could go to 60 over if I wanted, but I don't want to have. I don't want to if I don't have to.
A 5,000ths overbore is a very small step.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The current bore is 4155, right? And these Icon pistons I found through Summit, they say they're 40 over, but the bore says it's 4165, which would indicate it's 10 thou larger than what I have. So I'm not sure where they're starting, but everything else is fine. It's designed to work with a 6/800 rod, and it has a compression height that's going to put me right at about like 7 or 8 thou in the hole as it is. So I was going to deck the block about 3 thou to get that 5 thou in the hole that I'm really looking for. So I'm curious if they're really 40 over or they're 45 over. But the fact that they say it's a 4165 lends me to believe it's a 10 thou over than what I have. But it's weird.
I think I'd rather do a 10 thou than a 5 thou.
I would too, because that's a little easier to take a little more off and then hone it to sneak up on it.
Yeah, I think you're in control a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So.
Not that it can't be done, but I just remember, and we've told this story before, but we had long before we had our own crank cutting machine, we sent a 428 crankshaft out to get cleaned up, and it really only needed like a thou taken off of it.
Right.
And the crank shop did like 3 of the journals to get to number 4, and whoops, and the cutter moved, and it gouged it, and the guy's like, "This is too tight to cut anyway," and
right,
ruined a crank.
Oh man, yeah, that's tough. I mean, that should just be a polish to get you down a thou, right?
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah. Sometimes you got to take a little more off to just have a better process.
Sure. Yeah, so that's where we are right now. I have a salvageable block, and I'm pretty soon I'm going to be moving full steam ahead.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely was the news I needed. So,
yeah. Well, that's really awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, you know what else is really awesome?
Would that be the answers to our trivia questions?
Yes, and I will say there's a rule, and I know all the rules today in media are quickly being broken or have been broken for a long time. One of the rules is you want to create content, as they call it, which I hate that.
I know you hate that.
Creator. That just means like, I'm a content creator, so that means you just put something on the pages between the covers, So it's content. Is that content? Is it a story? Is it worth it, or is it just a space hole? Anyway, you want to hear a funny one? We were walking from one place to another at the SEMA Show. Actually, it was after the awards ceremony. We're going to the bar because the band Leadfoot was playing once again, and I got a chance to sing a couple tunes with those guys again. It was kind of fun.
Oh, cool.
But we were walking with Kyle Fickler.
Yeah.
Our man from Pro-Charger, who's also the immediate past chair of the SEMA board of directors and a great friend, a guy who saved my life a long time ago.
Yeah, he did.
His daughter Danica is in college. She races Formula SAE. She's on that team. She's a drag racer, NHRA. Totally into this stuff. Anyway, she's complaining about her shoes because her and Kelly were walking all dressed up from this big fancy event. They're in heels, and Kelly's like, "Yeah, just wear some tennis shoes." And she said, "Yeah, I went shoe shopping with my dad, and he just got aggravated because all these shoes have white soles, and he can't stand it." And Kelly's like, "What's the matter with white soles?" And he's like, "He just hates them. He just can't take it. He just got really, really irritated." So I'm like, "Huh." So I kind of put that one away. And later on, I see him in the bar, and we're talking about stuff, and I said, "Well, your birthday's coming up. I'm gonna get you a pair of these really cool white-soled shoes for your birthday." And he looked at me. He's like, "You're gonna what? You can't do that. What are you talking about? That's the dumbest thing ever." And I'm like, "Wow." He goes off on this tirade, and he's got a good point. If you're at a drag strip and there's like hot rubber and VHT on a track, you can't get it off a white-soled shoe.
That's true. That's true.
But Danica said he forbade her from getting white-soled shoes.
Boy, you hooked a whopper with that one. Oh my goodness.
That was a good one. Oh yeah, that was a really good one. So anyway, the term I was getting to is that you want to keep your story time and your media evergreen. And the term evergreen means you can listen to it today, you can listen to it 10 years from now. There's still something there. It's not focused around a date or an event.
Right. And
so you'll notice that, we talked about the SEMA show, but all the stuff we talked about is relevant pretty much every year. It's not like... but I will break that rule a little bit.
Ooh.
And do a quick preview. And if you're hearing this in time, the McCacken show is coming up right around the corner. Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals.
Yep.
And we'll be there once again. And you and I will be there pulling covers off cars and shooting video and doing interviews and having a big time. I think Brian's going to be there as well with his dad and his brother.
Yeah.
His dad's never been, so I think that's going to be super fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And lots of great stuff to see there. And guess what? That whole statement was true except for Brian's dad being there. That whole statement was true every year. So you could be listening to this in the year 2950, and McCacken's coming up, and you should go.
Because we'll be there.
That's right. Our remains will be spread
on display. Yeah.
That's actually that is actually not a bad idea.
The remains display of hot rodders past.
I mean, something with a magnet on it. You can stick it in the car and take your loved one for a cruise.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. SEMA Show does it to you.
Very nice. Very nice. Anywho. All right, so let's get back to these answers here. So I asked you, what model year of Corvette production saw the highest number of units sold? And you kind of went, first said 78, 79, 80, and then you settled on 79. And despite my best effort to try to steer you off of that, 1979 is the answer, sir.
Are you kidding me? Right on.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. You are right on the money. 1979. Yeah, Brian and I we happen to be talking about a Corvette, I think, in the shop, and he mentioned 1979. He's like, highest number of units sold, by the way. That's a trivia question. I'm like, that is a trivia question. Thank you very much, sir. So that's where that came from. Yeah, it is a good one. So put that in my back pocket. So congratulations.
Thank you. That was unexpected.
Yeah. Right now, please return the favor.
Yes. Well, the question to you,
by telling me I'm correct,
was who is the DeSoto car company named after? And your exact answer was, quote, DeSoto, Texas, who conceived the brand from same said city.
Yes. The person who conceived the brand was from DeSoto is what it said.
Kind of. I was typing as you said it.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
I like that, from same said city.
From said city, yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, unfortunately. Mr. I paid attention in high school history class over there.
Yeah.
The DeSoto Car Company was named after the Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto.
Ooh.
Who led the first European expedition into what is now the southeastern United States.
Oh, man.
So Chrysler, Walter P. himself, chose the name in 1928, as another trivia question, to evoke a sense of adventure and to create a brand that would compete in the mid-price car market, which goes right to the DeSoto Adventurer, which was a car.
Oh, very nice. I mean, it's possible that the city of DeSoto, Texas, was named after Hernando de Soto as well. So, in a roundabout sort of way, I was really kind of right. Sort of. Yeah. In some universe.
Born there. Yeah. Walter P. Chrysler was born in DeSoto, Texas, before it was named DeSoto.
Well, Who knows? Who knows?
So,
that's a great question, though.
There you go. Side trivia question. What famous television character on the TV show MASH had a wife who drove a DeSoto?
Ooh.
And what was her name?
Oh, gosh darn it. Well, I'll say it was Henry Blake and his wife Lorraine.
So close. It was actually Sherman T. Potter.
Sherman Potter.
And his wife Mildred who drove the DeSoto.
I was going to say Potter, but I went with Blake instead. Gosh darn it.
Sherman T. Potter.
Yep.
All right.
Very nice.
All right. That's another example of the cough medicine, so thank you for that.
It really brings out the creativity in you, man.
This is what happens, man. When I get a fever, I get really crazy. You ask Kelly. The one time she comes in the bedroom and I was sick as a dog. I had a high fever for me, and I'm half delirious, and I'm writing down stuff. And she's like, "What are you writing down?" And I said, "I'm recalling every phone number I ever had."
Right on. I mean, that's just a good mental exercise.
All my teachers, I was compelled to go from preschool to my last college professor and list every teacher's name. Do you know the names of your teachers?
I know my elementary
Hernando
school
DeSoto
teachers.
was definitely not one of them.
No, not one of them. Yeah. No, I remember my elementary school teachers, but not in junior high or anything like that.
All right. Well, next time you get sick, you can work on that.
I will do that.
All right. Well, I got to go heal up for the McCacken show and get this the show on the road. So
right on, man. Looking forward to that one.
Well, yeah, me too. If you like the show, sponsored by Primatene Mist and Advil Cold and Sinus
and Vicks Formula 44D.
Vicks, and Vicks Vapo Rub applied straight to the back of the throat.
Nice.
That's what happened in Kelly's family. She'd get a cold, their dad would take a handful of Vicks and ram it down her throat.
Oh my God! No, what? Oh my Lord!
I have to ask her about that next time.
I will.
That's why she's never sick now.
Yeah,
her body's afraid of the Vicks injection. All right, that's enough. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that good stuff, and that's all we got. So for Mr. Mike Q-Ball Clark, I'm Kevin Ostie. This has been the V8 Radio Podcast, and we're reminding you to keep the shiny side up, and we will talk at you next time on V8 Radio.